How's it going today? Today we're going to talk about 3 reasons I never bought any marijuana stocks or pot stocks or anything that directly kind of is like a marijuana stock. I mean, I bought some that were kind of like the pickaxes. That's not kind of how I like to usually a lot of my investments. But these are kind of like buying the self-driving car. I won't buy the company that makes the self-driving car because I don't know which one's going to be the number one. I might buy, okay, who makes the computer chips that makes that possible? That's kind of how I always play the marijuana stocks. Which I got a video down there of a stock that I recommended and I own, and it's doing great. And you should check it out. It's down in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe. I can leave that one down there that I recommend and actually kind of like that play. I think it's the best marijuana stock to own that's not a marijuana stock. But anyway, now the 3 reasons I never recommend any marijuana stocks, or everybody asking me and it seems like for some reason, I'm just going to make a statement. It might kind of whatever, but it seems like to me when everybody goes on about when the non-investors or the what I call like the educated investors, like just kind of like your run-of-the-mill investors, like might have $100 in there that just bought it because it's craving on the internet. They're kind of like not financially, I don't know what to call them, I guess. I just like the random people that just think, oh, I can get in stocks, make a little bit of money, and then run off to it, run off to the bank. You know what I mean? They're not really investors. They really don't care. They're just trying to make a quick buck. You know what I mean? And I see that a lot throughout the years of doing it. There was some stocks all the way, even go back to GoPro. I mean, people were saying that stock was good, then it crashed. Oh, it's ran up so much, or it's going to be great, and it crashes, and there's like, and the same thing with Bitcoin. Nobody knows why they were buying Bitcoin. They couldn't tell you the valuation or even what Bitcoin was. They couldn't even explain you what a blockchain was or anything like that. They'd be like, well, it's some kind of cryptocurrency thing that goes up and down, and I'm buying it. Especially in 2017, it was like, I saw a bunch of these people trying to, there was some crypto miners out there that made some money, but I believe, and actually NVIDIA actually made a big play, but that's kind of like, it's sold to these things so they can do that. And it actually hurt eventually NVIDIA when it busted. But anyway, it seems like it's just one of these things that people jump to. If you go to I was actually sitting in Burger King eating a thing, and I heard these two people, these two, like, they were like younger, maybe whatever, younger people talking about how they're going to buy these pot stocks. And as soon as it legalizes, they're going to make all these tons of money. You know what I mean? And it's kind of just, and that kind of tees into number one. They're basically overvalued. I believe a lot of them are overvalued. Like that's kind of like the leading advertisement. Oh, open it was one that, I've seen the advertisement on Snapchat, it was like, no, I forget if it was Stash or whatever that one with the S name was. Oh, open your account so you can buy these hot marijuana stocks. You know what I mean? Like, that's why people open an account, so they can buy these pot stocks. They don't even know. They don't even know financial. They never took a course in accounting. They never even read a book on accounting or finance or anything. They're just going to flood into it, and that's just kind of like, when you see things like that, or people flooding into something that they have no idea what they do, or even do some research and go, how can this thing go wrong? You're probably going to lose the money because you're basically just gambling. You might as well just go buy, a lottery ticket at the gas station and just do that. Well, I want some cheap marijuana stock, like a penny stock, and hopefully it goes up a lot. You're basically just kind of gambling if you do that, unless you do your research and it's good penny stock. I'm not bashing penny stock. I'm just bashing the people that buying it think they're going to get rich over the night. There's no really get rich quick. It takes so much years. And really, honestly, even if you make a lot of money, you're going to get, in the short term, in 1 year, you're going to get taxed heavily too. So essentially, as you hold them longer, you get taxed less. But anyway, so that's why, number one reason, overvalued. I remember Tilray, and actually I shorted Tilray at the 80s. I said, get out of this thing. And now I actually covered at 30, and then it's down to like 18 or something. Now it just crashed, and all of them did because they were overvalued. And anyway, just get out of it. Just get out of it if you don't know what you're doing. And the other thing, number two, is it's like there's no competitive advantage. It's almost like marijuana is almost like oil in a way, where the more oil is good if oil prices go up. Oil, you want to own oil companies, which duh, everybody knows that. But here's the thing. Let's say oil stays flat, and then let's say you want to mine all this oil. You have to spend money to mine oil. And then when you mine oil, the more oil you mine, the more there is supply. And if demand stays the same and supply goes up, price goes down. So the more money you spend on oil or spend on drilling, you just lose it in the end. You know what I mean? It's just a race to the bottom. And that's why a lot of these marijuana things, and oil is, I'm not bashing oil, but that's kind of like the gist of it. That's kind of like some of these companies are just a race to the bottom. You don't want to be in companies that are a race to the bottom. You don't want to do that. And that's kind of how it is, because it's everybody can get into it. People can parent marijuana, and it's just, well, I mean, not everybody, but it's pretty easy business to get into. And the more they plant, the more supply there is. And if there's too much supply and demand just sits there, the prices go down. So essentially, the more money they flood into it, they're just going to keep losing and losing. And anybody can get into it. They could just, if they have land, they can plant marijuana and this. And it just, there's no, what you want to do is you want to spend more money and you want the value to go up. You don't want the value of what you're making to go down. And that's kind of what's going on. You want to have pricing power. There's no really, especially with distributors and these farms and all this and all that craziness. And it's just no pricing power. It's kind of, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it is. You can spend all this thing, but everybody else is doing it. Everybody pounding in. Because everybody thinks they're going, it's like the gold rush of 2000s or whatever. Maybe not that extreme, but it's kind of like that. When everybody's rushing into it, will they make some money? I mean, maybe not. The good ones will, but there's so many junk out there, and you're just going to buy it's just one of these things. And that ties in number 3. There's really no clear winner. I don't see one out there. Now, I believe there will be some money made in marijuana, but I believe it will come where it all kind of sells out, and everybody, maybe 10 years down the line, there might be a clear winner. There might be a winner where, man, I should have bought that. But you're basically just gambling on all of them. And you have to think, maybe there could be a Coca-Cola, a pot. That's what you need, is basically a big brand that everybody, when you go to a store or you go to a store or anything like that, you're going, okay, what's going to be, what brand do I want? It's like, maybe I compare it maybe to, because it's kind of like alcohol. And in a way, when you think of a bottle of alcohol, what do you think of? There's only like 5 or 6 brands you might think. And if you don't drink, maybe beer or whatever, or maybe Pepsi or soft drinks. What do you think of? Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi. You don't think of the Fagos and the RC Colas and stuff like that. There's a lot of pops out there. I mean, you can name lists of Coca-Cola, but there's not of lists of cola drinks and taste, but there's not only one Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? And that's how I kind of think about it. And everybody drinks kind of Coca-Cola. It's easy. I don't think everybody's going to smoke marijuana. I think maybe kind of young people. I don't think maybe medical reasons, but that can easily get put out by other drugs, because marijuana has some side effects, which other drugs do. So golly knows with that. I mean, another thing, I don't do medical things, so that's one area I don't do, because I don't know medical, and I don't really you can't really Google that. Yeah, it's hard to get into medical. That's why I never recommend any medical ones too. That's one industry I don't dab into here, is medical. So essentially, maybe I don't see there's any clear winner where there's a brand out there, it's brand recognition, and that creates pricing power. That, because people go to the store, they know they can get the cheaper generic brand. They know RC might be cheaper, but they get the Coca-Cola. Why? Because they like Coca-Cola. They like the brand. There's a lot of reasons why. And that creates pricing power. Basically, Coca-Cola can raise their prices. Raise the price, and not much. I mean, it was, maybe 10 cents long time ago. Now it's $1.69 for whatever, or a can of Coke. I forget. God knows, wherever you are at. But I'm guarantee it's a little more expensive, a little bit more, and that's called pricing power. They can just slightly raise their prices, and hopefully they're a managed good business where when the economy slows down, they can lower prices and still be profitable. So essentially, that's what you really want. You want complete pricing power. You want to be like Apple, where you can just keep raising your prices. Not too fast, but just enough to increase your profits. And that's really what you want. That's what good businesses can do. I mean, think of Facebook. It can slowly raise its ad rates. Google can slowly raise ad rates. You know, think of Netflix. They can slowly raise their prices slowly. I mean, sometimes they go too much and they have to slow it down, but then over the long term, the prices just keep going up, you know, and that's what you want. You don't want something that goes down. You don't want something, oh, I'm going to get in this industry and it's a race to the bottom. You know, it'd be like, that's why I never bought E-Trade or TD Ameritrade. That was another industry that was a race to the bottom. Commission free, it was just race to the bottom. Whoever gets there faster might win. You know what I mean? And that's a losing game. I don't want to buy a business where I'm, you know, okay, you know, I can send this thing for $10 today. In 20 years, I can sell it for 10 cents. I mean, you're losing money. And that business won't grow. So anyway, that's why I never bought marijuana. Hopefully that might get you out of it. And don't listen to the people on the internet. I'm not saying there will be some winners. There will be some winners that do well, but don't get hyped up of it. Do your research and really think about them core elements that I just talked about. Talk about evaluations. You don't want something crazy like Tilray where it's 1,000 times revenue. I mean, at the peak. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? But and make sure everybody's, you know, it has a competitive advantage and it has a brand. You want them. If you get that, you could probably do well. And if you don't, you could probably do bad. And that really goes for all businesses. But marijuana, I don't see anything like that yet. If there is, I could be happy to buy it for a fair price. But anyway, make sure you leave a comment, and everything like that. And thank you for watching. Thank you.